Howdy friends, it's Brian back with BG Model Workshop, and we're doing a review on the splash paints that we used on our 1966 Volkswagen Beetle by Tamiya. And you all know about Tamiya kits, how those are pretty much a shake and bake type of deal. Just pour some glue in the box, shake it up, and it builds itself. Pretty true for this kit as well. This one was a little bit of an older release. I believe it's from the mid 80s, and it did have a couple little issues, but we were able to, it was nothing we couldn't handle. So we had done a review a little bit ago about the actual base coat, the color coat, and again we were using the beige gray. So here is the same car with the two-part clear coat. So this is what we were using. Now, I've never used a process like this before, and so it was a learning curve for me, a little bit of a learning curve. And not being much of an airbrush aficionado myself, being able to just pour paint into the color cup and shoot it is bloody amazing. So I'm a big fan of that myself. Now I know that there are other painting systems out there that are available in our country now, and also made in our country. But for us folks on the western side of the United States, or the West Coast, having somebody who's based in Oregon just makes it that much sweeter because we can get our products a little bit faster. So what I discovered on this with shooting the clear was, first of all, we were having some problems with our technique. Now, we had talked to Samuel at the IPMS show at his vendor's table, and I was asking him how do you shoot the base coat and such, and he says, well, it was a real simple process of just doing dry passes. You don't want to see any wet. Just do several dry passes, let it set, do some more dry passes, let it set. I was like, okay, great. And I completely forgot to ask him about how to shoot the clear, because I hadn't even gotten that far yet in my thought process. So when we got home, we ordered up the clear, and then when that came, I got all happy about that and went out and decided to spray this guy. Well, the problem was that because I talked to him about using doing dry passes with the color coat, I felt that was the same way you do the gloss coat. Of course, that totally goes against reason now, but I had a lot of orange peel problems, and I let it set aside. I gave it 24 hours, and then I went back out and sanded it down. And to the product's credit, it sanded very, very nicely. I used some 600 grit and then went up to a 1500 grit to leave some tooth on there for the next coat. And that laid down a little bit better because I had adjusted my painting technique, but I was still having an issue with orange peel. So I did some checking around and then discovered that my airbrush that I was using was actually dying on me. And then I realized, I've had that thing for about 10 years or more. So it was time to dig a grave for that. So I must have known that something like that was coming, because I had been at the Lobby of Hobbies and I saw this little guy on sale. It was on discount, and so I went ahead and picked it up, and I thought I got a great deal on this until I got it home and showed it to the missus, and she's like, well, if you had actually bought this the day before with the coupon, you probably would have come out better than if you bought it on clearance. So lesson learned. Next time I buy something on clearance, don't tell the missus. That's a very for all you young married fellows out there, that's a poignant point right there. So I decided to break out the Iwata Neo and give that a try. So the Beetle had been sitting for about a half an hour before I decided to break out the Iwata and give that a try. And I did some heavy passes on it with the Iwata, with some overlap and that kind of stuff. And if I had gotten out there a little bit sooner before, because I'm thinking it was about a half an hour before I decided to go back out there and do it. It was probably a solid 45 minutes before I actually got paint on the car, because I had to set up and everything. But if I had gotten out there sooner, before this had flashed over so much, I think I would have had a mirror glaze finish on this. But as it is, we got a little bit of orange peel, just a hint here and there. And the paint, to its credit, well, I shouldn't say the paint, but the urethane, to its credit, did its job very, very well, despite the fact that the guy behind the camera doesn't know what he's doing. So it really, really wanted to do its job, and I was really, really wanting it to do its job, but I just wasn't letting it do its job. So again, the product is damn near foolproof, and I'm the fool to prove it. So we're thinking that we can probably just do a light wet sanding and do a little bit of a buff and get this looking spanking new. So again, I reiterate, Splash Paints, solid product. Give it a try. I know there's a few guys out there that either have placed orders or are considering placing orders. And if you have some of this paint on your shelf, pull it down and use it, because this stuff is amazing. And then Samuel, the guy who's the actual proprietor of the company, he's got something coming out darn near every day. He's making an announcement on either Instagram or through email. And just yesterday happened to notice that he has a set. It's a 2-paint set, and it's the specialized colors used for the Mustang and Gone in 60 Seconds, the specialized colors for Eleanor. Now this is the 1990s version, not the original 1970 version. But it's got the what's that? The pepper gray, and then the metallic black for the stripes. It comes in a set. I'm very excited about that, even though I don't have that model kit. I'm excited about that paint, that paint group. So that's what we got going on there. We got the chassis and the engine and stuff pretty much done. So we'll do a review on all that at the final. But in the meantime, I just wanted to let you guys know how it's going with this product. A little bit of a learning curve on my part, because I've never actually sprayed anything like that before. I've always used rattle cans. And the one thing I don't like about rattle cans is it's all or nothing. And that's why I'm trying so hard to master the airbrushing skill. Alright, so that's what we got going on. I would like to say welcome and thank you to my new subscribers. You are all very, very much appreciated, as well as the former subscribers. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And thanks for tuning in. Have a safe and wonderful weekend, and we will talk to you again next week. Bye now.